Great. Welcome, everyone, to Team Referral Network's monthly webinar, our Brown Bag Lunch and Learn webinar. Did you bring your lunch? It may not be lunch for you if you're in a different time zone. We here are in rainy Southern California today, and it is still morning for us at 11:30 a.m. But if you brought your lunch, sit back and enjoy. Our topic today is going to be Power Partners, an endless source of referrals. How many of you have made some big goals here to build and grow your business? I certainly believe Power Partners is one of the best ways to do it, and our guest and myself will be sharing some great information for you on how to create this endless source of referrals. So today I want to welcome our expert, Terry Lee Harrison. Terry Lee has an incredible amount of experience working with small business owners and entrepreneurs, professionals who are responsible for creating their own success. She's done this on many levels. I've known her, going on 12 years, 10 years, 12 years, 13 years. Terry Lee, you'll have to correct me at a certain point. But I've known Terry Lee not only as a business professional, as a partner in my business, as a franchise owner of the Antelope Valley High Desert Team Referral Network franchise here in Southern California. I've known her as a fellow Christian. I've known her as a writer. I've known her as a director previously for Team Referral Network. I've known her in many, many capacities over the years since I was first blessed to meet her. And today she is joining us literally in the middle of the night from Singapore to share ideas on Power Partners and an endless source of referrals. I hope you all will help me welcome Terry Lee Harrison as our expert for this month's Brown Bag Lunch and Learn. Welcome, Terry Lee.
So good to be with you all. And this is one of my favorite topics in the world to talk about, believe it or not.
I kind of knew that, so I was kind of predestined that you would be doing this particular webinar series with us. Terry Lee, tell us a little bit about what you're doing in Singapore very quickly.
Like why I'm here?
Sure. Well, why you're here and what you're doing while you're there.
So I'm here. We relocated from Southern California in June of 2018. My husband's the dean at a Bible college, and I'm still running my team franchise there in Southern California remotely. So I get up every morning. I'm talking to you from the future right now. Actually 3:30 in the morning tomorrow as you record this live here at 11:30 noon your time. So we're also busy doing things to grow team nationally and internationally here from Singapore. So we are making connections to launch our first virtual team chapters where we'll bring together people online to do their awesome team meetings. So I'm very busy doing that. And soon we're launching Team Talk Radio, our first weekly podcast for Team Referral Network. So lots of amazing things are happening here in Singapore for Team Referral Network.
That is so great. Well, I'm so honored to have you to be part of my team, and it's great to have you on the webinar today. And this is actually a topic that is a favorite for both of us. When I first learned the power of power partnering, and it was many, many, many years ago, like literally over 30 years ago, I did come to realize that it creates this endless source of referrals if you build it right and you treat it right. So let's go ahead and dig in. Why do we network? We have it on here as connections, relationships, and referrals. But Terry Lee, what do you think? Why do we go out and network? How do we make these connections and relationships, and how do they lead towards referrals?
The good news is any relationship we start can be so valuable to us in many ways, right? So it is the connection and the relationship. But when we are intentional about our networking and we seek out power partners, number one, we need these connections, Kelly, because many times our clients need us to refer them. They need that referral, right?
Right.
And so I don't know that we defined a power partner. So a power partner is someone who shares your client, and it's not competition. It's someone that it is naturally an organic part of what you do at some point, that to have a natural question or conversation where it's going to come up that you need to refer someone, or you need to ask about a specific profession. So a couple I can think of to share just as examples would be the realtor and the mortgage lender. They need each other, right? And I think about Legal Shield people who represent Legal Shield. One of the things they offer is a will as part of their program. And every life insurance person, every financial advisor, as they go and they question their clients to get the information that they need, they're going to ask, do you have a will? And so if they say no, that's a perfect power partner for someone who does Legal Shield, because they're able to make that referral right in the moment to help them. So that's what a power partner is. So when we need a power partner for our team to refer with, and we need them because we want to build reciprocal referral relationships. As we're talking, these people, if we can have 5 to 6 power partners who we're the ones they refer to, our business is so much easier. The referrals are coming to us. We're not out begging for business.
Definitely. It's interesting when I think about, the amount of networking that the people we know go out and do, and how much of it, and I want our listeners to really think about it, how much of your networking is on you're kind of winging it, right? We don't necessarily set the intention of very strategically selecting the right events to be networking at. We aren't always as well thought out and well planned as to what we want our results to be when we go out and network. And we aren't necessarily, some of you may be really good at this, but some of you may see yourself in the description I'm giving here. Sometimes we're not always the best at doing the follow-up after we go out and do the networking. So if I could impart with our listeners today anything about why you network, is, of course, we want to make great connections. We want to build those relationships, and we want to turn them into referral opportunities. But we need to be very intentional. Select the right networking event. Go into the networking event with a plan. You may be bringing people with you from your own networking sphere of influence, your team chapter, people that you know, other power partners. You may be going by yourself, but go in with a plan on who you want to meet, and make sure that you are asking people for those introductions. Be very strategic and intentional about what you want to get. Know the results. I want to walk out of here with 2 great connections of 2 potential power partners, and those particular power partners' businesses are this, okay? Then do the proper follow-up after you've made that connection when you're out networking to start the process of building a relationship. Most people go from making a connection, kind of like a first date, to being married by the second date, okay? It doesn't work that way, right, Terry Lee?
Oh, no, not exactly. No.
Relationships are going to take a little bit of time. So what you're really hoping for is continuing the conversation after you make that connection, starting to build the relationship through a series of opportunities to meet, perhaps do a coaching session, get to know each other, again, kind of like that dating process. And then that leads to the knowing, liking, and trusting, which is the result of getting referrals and being referable and referring. So that's kind of why we network. Anything else you want to add there, Terry Lee?
I think just to be real about the fact that these things take time, right?
Yes, definitely take time.
Some of the best power partner relationships and networking relationships you have, they're gonna take time. So I tell people, relationship marketing and the things we're talking about today, it's not a get rich quick scheme, but over time it will be, quite profitable.
Definitely. Great. Okay, so we talk about referral sources for our business, and we really should be taking advantage of as many referral sources as possible for our business. So we're going to outline some here, and Terry Lee, if it's okay with you, I'll share a little bit about each one and ask you then to share a little bit as well. I'll start with friends and family. Now, I don't know about you guys. I have an awesome family who has really no clue what I do. Okay. And so for them to be able to regularly be a referral source for me, I'm not sure they're going to be the best. Same thing goes friends and family. They're just, oh, don't you do that thing where you kind of bring people together and you guys do mixing and you do, you know, that's their level of understanding. And maybe you have a business that your friends and family don't 100% understand as well. Or maybe your friends and your family have seen you go through maybe a few different career choices, let's say, okay? And they're at that point where they're saying, oh, what are you doing now? Okay, so friends and family, if they are a good source of referrals for you, that's excellent. But I'm going to bet that maybe they're not the biggest source of referrals for any of us. Terry Lee, what do you think?
I wish if my video was on, you would have seen me shaking my head when you were talking about friends and family. No, it's just true. They don't, and they just don't understand. And I don't know that I don't know if it's our fault that we don't sit them down and explain it, but I'm not sure they want to hear.
I agree with you. I'm not sure they want to hear. They got other things going on. So casual referral sources, you know, these are people who maybe their business is not in any way, shape, or form related to your business, but they know you. They feel that you are professional, you are referable to them. And so casual referral sources can definitely get you, you know, a onesie, a twosie, 3 referrals in a year, or something along those lines. You know who those people are. If you're involved in a networking group like Team Referral Network, sometimes the 80-20 rule applies to this type of situation. About 80% of the chapter is a casual referral source. They're going to get to know you, like you, and trust you, and they're going to refer you when they can. And that is something that maybe happens, again, that 3-4 times a year where you get a good referral out of a casual referral source. Terry Lee, you're familiar with this type of 80-20 rule, 80% being casual, 20% we'll talk about here in a minute.
Totally. And in fact, here, as I was getting ready to get on the webinar, I had a referral come through in my messenger. So, and I try, and myself and you too, Kelly, we try to be great casual referral sources, and we're doing the best we can with the connections that we have. And we have vast connections, but yet we're not a constant source for these people. It's going to be as it comes up.
Right. Yep, that's true. But they are good to have. So
for sure.
Yeah. Friendly competitors. Now, I have a great story with my husband's business on this. And if you really find true professionals who love to do business by referral, they are good business people, you're going to find that they're pretty busy. My husband's a very busy painting contractor. He's been in the business forever and a day. And over the years, he's built relationships with other painting contractors. Either it's, you know, a situation where he could refer them out because it isn't something he does. He primarily focuses on residential repainting, interior and exterior, and so doesn't do a lot of commercial work, so he might refer that out. Or, you know, when he's booked for 4 or 5 months at a time, which happens a lot, and somebody needs a paint job and they need it quicker than he can get to them, then he refers out another great painter, knowing more than likely he's never going to see that client again because he wouldn't refer somebody who wasn't top notch. But it does, you know, give the opportunity for reciprocal opportunities. So friendly competitors can, again, be a source of referrals, although I don't think it's going to be necessarily a huge source of referrals for your business. What's your opinion on that, Terry Lee?
They're not going to be, yes, that's correct. They will not be a huge source, but when you find them or when you can be them with someone else, it is definitely totally beneficial. Can I talk about friendly competitors for a minute?
Sure.
I think sometimes we meet competitors, and the minute we meet them, we're like, I don't know if I want to talk to them. They're my competition. And the thing about it is we don't know until we talk to them if they could be a friendly competitor, and they could be some of your biggest source for referrals that you have if you are willing just to open up the conversation and talk to them. And so I just want to encourage you, you know, if you're out at networking events or someone wants to introduce you to a competitor, you see a competitor out somewhere, reach out to them and just have the attitude of, is it possible we can help each other? Because it could be a huge referral source for you.
I think I have one of the best friendly competitor stories of all time. And that might be how you and I met. So all those years ago, we had one person in common who said, I think you should know each other. And at that time, for our audience here, Terry Lee was working for another networking organization, not identical to Team Referral Network, but when people are allocating networking dollars, okay, you know, where they're going to spend their money to do their networking, certainly the company that she was working for and Team Referral Network were competing for those networking dollars from our target audience. And Terry Lee and I met as friendly competitors. We decided to do joint events together as friendly competitors, and the rest, as they say, is history, because here we are. She's one of our top franchise owners and has been in my life in all the different ways I described in her introduction. So friendly competitors can be an awesome way to build lifelong relationships. Let's see here. So let's move on to this last checkpoint on this screen here, strategic referral partners. These are power partners. This is where you are going to get this endless source of referrals. Power partners, as Terry Lee was describing to you, are a professional that's in a business that shares the same type of client. Maybe you call it a client, maybe you call it a member, maybe you call it a patient, maybe you call it a customer. Whatever your person is or company is, your best power partners will share that client with you. Terry Lee gave some great examples. A real estate agent, a mortgage lender. You know, a client is going to go to a mortgage lender. They're going to get pre-approved for the amount that they can spend on a home. They are going to refer them to their real estate agent. The real estate agent is going to go find the home. The mortgage person is going to fund the purchase of the property. Then they might bring in their escrow company and their title company and their contractor and their home inspector and their termite company. You know, if in other parts of the country it might need a real estate attorney, you know, all those other potential power partners that can share a transaction. Those are your true power partners. And I want to talk a little bit about them. Hang on here. And we'll go to the next screen. So, building strategic relationships with power partners. Who are they and where are they? Terry Lee, you want to start with the who? You've touched on it a little bit, but let's build a little bit more on power partners and power teaming.
So, again, and Kelly, this is one of the misnomers that business owners have, okay? Sometimes they think that a good power partner for them is someone who is actually a raving fan. Have you ever heard someone kind of say that?
Yes.
Like, anyone outgoing is a good power partner for me.
And I also see people mistaking a power partner for a client. They just can't get past describing a client. Yeah. So let's touch a little bit on the nuances and finer points of what really defines a power partner.
So yes, a power partner is someone who, yes, you absolutely share the same client with. I had a gentleman on a virtual team call yesterday that helps fund nonprofits and churches. And they do that through, I believe, setting you up, like when you do your normal shopping, a certain percentage goes back to the nonprofit. Okay, so he was trying to explain his power partners, and he's totally talking about his clients, a church. And I'm like, no, that's your client. May I coach you in this? You know, and so it's going to be the other people that serve churches in his case, right? And so you have to ask yourself, who else serves my clients? And if you don't know, I highly recommend, if you're part of Team Referral Network, ask your director or your franchise owner just briefly to help you with this, because I really believe if you will focus your networking time 80% on your power partners, that this can be huge for you. So they have to serve your same client. And so, Kelly, can you elaborate a little bit on how they might know that?
Sure. So for one thing, you want to make sure with your true power partners, okay, there's kind of a test that I give anyways in determining how this works. They have to serve the same client or the same patient or the same member or the same customer, whatever you call your person, okay? So that means that they touch on your business. And earlier in the webinar, Terry Lee, you alluded to the fact that they are not competitors, but they are somebody who shares your client. But I think we also touched on the fact that competitors can be good power partners. They can be, and that's an entirely different workshop, but they can be a potential power partner as well. But you want to make sure that you are looking for and being connected to strategic partners who are true power partners, and then working on building the relationship. And that leads us to the, where are they? Okay. They are where your networking is happening, whether you are networking in a formalized networking group. You can ask your members of your networking group to introduce you to your power partners, but you need to identify them, okay? And you need to share that identification with them, and you might even want to share why you are connected to them and how that relationship would look. But also in your networking activities, much like we talked about earlier, go out with a plan of meeting two power partners. When I do a power partner presentation where I'm speaking to a live audience, we talk about the power of two. And that is going into an event and making sure you let everybody that you meet there know the two types of power partners you're looking to be connected to that evening. Because people love being connectors, and when they can solve your need to meet this type of business professional, they usually want to help you as well. So who are they? They are people who touch your industry in some way, shape, or form and share your client. Where are they? All around you, especially in your networking activities. Anything you want to add on to that, Terry Lee?
I think on the where are they, I think that it's important that just a couple tips. You could ask, if we go back to like your friends and family, if you're a financial advisor, an insurance person, you're looking to meet a great tax person for power partnering, you can go on Facebook and ask people, hey, I'm looking to refer to a tax person, and you'll watch them. If you say looking for recommendations, they'll give you You'll see it on your Facebook, right? It starts coming down in the comments. And then you can ask them to refer and possibly get a warm referral, right, from your friends and family, let alone as you go out and network. And I think that when you go, Kelly talked about going with intention. Don't be afraid as you go check in at a mixer or an event to say, if you are that financial advisor, say, I'm looking to meet someone who does taxes tonight. Would you let me know? Is there anybody here? Or if someone comes in, would you let them know I'd like to meet them, right? Just set the intention and put it out there right away. So those are some tips of where you might find them as well.
That's great. That is great. And the Facebook thing is really good. I love answering people's recommendation search and being able to refer people that I know and trust and are really excited if the potential for them to connect with that person.
Yes.
So let's go on and talk a little bit about educate, power partners and power teams. Now we haven't really talked much about power teaming yet, but Terry Lee, I happen to know you're a master of putting together some awesome power teams. So share with us how we go from a power partner, onesie or twosies of those, and how we build a power team.
So the onesies and twosies are amazing, but if you want to put it on steroids, start to bring together a group of power partners together. And so how you can do that is just talk to them about the possibility of meeting once a month. You bring some power partners. If you're part of a formal networking group like team, you may have power partners in your team, and that's who you meet with. You may invite in additional key people. When you're seeking power partners, this is one thing that we've not said, Kelly, and it's to seek out the best of the best, right?
Yes, right.
Yes, my gosh. Just seek out the best of the best. Who is it that is well known in your community? Who is it that has the highest integrity? People have great respect for, just the best in their field. And if you can bring together, 5 to 8 of those people, So imagine if we talked about the real estate agent and the mortgage lender, but imagine if they're able to expand that to the other people that serve their client in the real estate sphere. Imagine people who serve businesses, whether that's coaches, marketing people, maybe even financial people that kind of come together. You can customize your power team to be anything you want. But imagine if you meet, as an example, once a month, you get out your whiteboard and you start talking about, this is what we've done together so far. This is the referrals we've passed. This is the relationships we've shared. What do we want to do this month? And you hear from everyone what they want to accomplish. And you're able to talk in the same language too. I think financial people might talk in premiums, and real estate people might talk in another language, but the ability to bring it together and organize it, I think that you would be so surprised the benefits it can have for your business, and that people barely meet power partners, let alone take it further. Right, Kelly?
Right. It's true. I think we sometimes drop the ball. I already talked about the fact that a lot of us go out and network, and we're not networking with intention. We are not necessarily looking to get know exactly the results that we are looking for, and we don't necessarily do the proper follow-up. So that means we're also probably not necessarily building those power partner relationships, then building the power teams, and then utilizing the power team in the way that will get you the results you want from this type of activity. So you got to go back and apply the basics here of connecting, relationship building, power partner relationship, building a power team together. You got to get to know each other. Coaching sessions is up here. It's one of the best ways to really start building a relationship. At TEAMReferralNetwork.com, under our public side of the website, you have the availability to access our coaching sessions worksheet, or you can certainly just email the office here, info@TEAMReferralNetwork.com, for a coaching sessions worksheet. But it's important to understand that you've got to lay this foundation. It's not difficult. It's actually quite simple, but it takes commitment, and it takes following the necessary sequence in order to have these successful relationships. But I'm here to tell you anybody can do it, and I'm going to tell you why I know anybody can do it. My husband, who is the least networking person probably on the face of the earth. Carrie Lee, would you agree?
Sadly, yes.
Yeah, okay. You know how we have a tendency to marry our opposites? I truly married my opposite. So here he is, Mike Holmes, painting contractor. And let's see, we've been married for 33 years this year. So about 33 years ago, okay, he started building relationships through networking. It was killing him to do it, but building relationships through networking. And at the time, he was networking with a great group of guys and one girl, I think. They were all related to the home remodeling center of influence. And so they, without strategically doing this, without putting the intention out there, with really nobody organizing it, there was these 8 guys, well, 7 guys and 1 girl, I think it was, like I said, who got together and kind of made this informal agreement. Hey, I like you. I know your business. I know you're professional and have integrity. I am, and I do too. I want to refer business to you. Will you refer business to me? And here it was, Mike the painting contractor, and it was the general contractor, and it was the window tinting company, and it was the plumber, and it was the landscaper, and it was the roofer, and there was an interior designer in there, and somebody else. I'm forgetting the whole 8, okay? But they had this casual, informal relationship that literally built their businesses. I mean, I'm talking millions of dollars over the last 30 years or plus that they have referred in business to each other. 5 out of the 8 are still in business today. And I always say when I'm speaking about this, when you think about the years of 2008 through 2012 for the home remodeling industry, the fact that the 5 out of the 8 are still in business today is pretty amazing. But it's the relationships that have continued to this day. I'm telling you, my husband still gets and gives referrals to those people from that original informal power team. They didn't know what they were doing then, but that's exactly what they were doing. And it has resulted in millions of dollars worth of referrals over the years. So this is how I know anybody can do this, because if my husband, the guy who doesn't network and doesn't really focus on building relationships, can do it, anybody can do it, and you can have an endless source of referrals. Terry Lee, you want to add something to that?
How could I add to that? But I think that it's just an example of how you can totally work together. And I think that the picture you painted of the people that came together is very helpful to people too, Kelly. Just these are the businesses that work together. So because the first step for us is we have to realize who we would work with, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who would we work with? You know, I love, those of you that know Eloise Love here in the office at Team Referral Network, she's actually the one who creates the PowerPoints for our Brown Bag Lunch and Learn webinar series. And I want to give a public shout out to how awesome Eloise is on creating these PowerPoints. But she has masterminding in there. And, you know, masterminding is not something everybody is familiar with. But it is a powerful technique with power partnering and power teams. And the mastermind element that I think the two most important mastermind elements, and you really, as a business professional listening to this webinar, I would encourage you to look up the meaning of masterminding and potentially look at being part of a mastermind group. We have a strategic partner, SoCal Masterminds, that I'll throw out a shout out for as well, that you can look up on the Team Referral Network website as well, SoCal Masterminds. But masterminding has two elements that I think are really important for power partners and power teaming, and that is shared knowledge and accountability. Shared knowledge and accountability. So shared knowledge, you become a smarter, more savvy business person by surrounding yourself with smart business people, good business people. You pick up on their habits of success. You learn about their business, which expands your horizon when you're able to speak to your potential clients or people you're looking to cultivate a relationship with. It's that shared knowledge that makes us better. And we all want to be better, right? Honest to God, people think I'm one of the smartest people, and really it's not true. I am only smart, not because of, you know, going to college or getting good grades. I am smart because I have been surrounded, entrenched since I was a young adult around other fantastic professionals, and I've heard them speak all of these years and talk about finances and real estate and insurance and personal training and health, and, you know, keep throwing in all the different categories of people that I've heard speak and I've networked with and I've built relationships with over the years. You have made me a smart person. And it is amazing. And that comes from also the power of masterminding. So shared knowledge and then accountability, the A word, right? Nobody necessarily loves the A word. But as entrepreneurs, sometimes being our own boss, who holds us accountable, right? And we need to be held accountable, right? So Terry Lee, you've done some masterminding in the past, I know. What's your thought on this as it relates to power partners and power teams?
So I so agree with the concepts you've already shared regarding it. And I think that another valuable thing is, as you've developed these relationships, is these are people you can come to and say, this is the challenge I'm having in my business right now, and let them help you work through that and get unstuck with that, right? There's so much value when you have these relationships. And and I'm sure that when you share a challenge, you don't know who shares the same challenge. And so there's tons of value in mastermind. If it's something that you can incorporate inside of your power team, you will be all the more powerful, if you will.
Yep, I love it. That's great. And you're right, the challenge element and getting solutions for your challenges is amazing.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about another one of my favorite topics, and I know it is yours as well, Terry Lee. It's collaborate, okay? Power partners and power teaming really is a collaborative effort. It is a collaboration. How many different ways can I use the word collaborate? It's an important element to the successful power partner and power team relationship, because number one, you're looking at opening up your book of business. Most seasoned professionals who have built up a book of business guard that very carefully. It is why you sometimes make an instant connection with somebody and you think, oh my God, referrals are going to rain down into my lap from this connection that I just made with this awesome business person. But I'm here to tell you, the awesome business person who has worked hard to build that book of business is not going to just open their book of business and start referring you. A lot of people think that happens at networking events. How many of you have gone to a networking event, had this incredibly strong connection with somebody, and you think, oh my God, this is the greatest thing, it's going to change my business forever, and poof, they self-combust and you never hear from them, okay? Perhaps you didn't do the follow-up, perhaps they weren't ready to get married, which is what you thought was going to happen, okay? And they're not willing to open up that book of business. It takes building a relationship, and a collaboration is a two-way street. So before anybody's going to open up their book of business, you've got to learn to figure out the best way to collaborate. Co-marketing, great way to collaborate, where you share the expense of marketing, you share the audience of who you're marketing to, you perhaps do joint ventures, joint events together, you speak together. At Team Referral Network, we recommend that power partners, if they're on a two-speaker format, that both of them speak on the same day or even together. It's a great way to do things, and you kind of have a buddy or a partner to be able to do this with. And then we've already talked a little bit about shared knowledge in the masterminding, but when you have an awesome collaboration, you are definitely sharing knowledge with each other. Terry Lee, what do you want to add on collaboration?
All these concepts are so important, and I find when I mention these, people's, like, their lights go off, because I don't think that they realize they can do these things with a power partner, right? Mm-hmm. So we've had team members in the past who have, if they're going out to visit clients for the day, they take their power partner with them, and perhaps one week one of them introduces some clients, and the next week someone else, the other person, introduces clients in return, right? So you can actually go out and do a field day in your business and take your power partners to meet them. When it comes to co-marketing and shared knowledge, we've had power partners who have hosted seminars together, workshops together. They team up and they invite together and they share the knowledge with the people who come. And so the sky's the limit, Kelly, to how you can collaborate with a power partner.
I think one of our greatest examples of a collaboration is one of our team chapters. They're called the Financial Power Partners. And you can look them up at TEAMReferralNetwork.com, and just in the chapter search, look at Financial Power Partners. But this was a group of professionals that actually used to belong to one team chapter, and there was 6 or 7 of them. I can't remember exactly how many, but they were all in and around the world of financial health and wealth, okay? If the real estate agent definitely was a very high-end real estate agent who clients were at that place in life where real estate to them was potentially an investment. It was part of their financial life. So a great financial planner, advisor was very important for them to recommend to their client. The mortgage lender took a very holistic approach to mortgage lending, not only as a tool to buy a piece of property, but really how to increase your financial health and wealth. And maybe it was multiple properties, and maybe there was every reason to use some of the finances in a plan to be able to purchase real estate. So the collaboration between the financial advisor and the mortgage lender was important. But it turned out there were 6 or 7 of them that were in this group, and they were about 80%, following that 80-20 rule, 80% of their referrals was coming from each other. And so they started meeting once a month, great power team, and then they decided they wanted their own chapter, which was very hard to leave their one group, but they all worked on replacing themselves, and everything ended up working out okay. So the short story on that is, it was a happily ever after ending. But now this financial power partner team was in play, and to this day, many years later, and they've strengthened the group and added to the group and invited new partners in, they have this rock solid collaboration where they have literally opened up their book of business to each other and shared referrals and introduced each other and done joint venture activities together, co-marketing together. They have certainly worked very hard in sharing their knowledge, and in fact they continue and make that a regular part of their their networking meeting every single week. They are diligent about coaching sessions. And so it is, and they, even though they know each other really well, they continue to do coaching sessions because things change in our business. Sometimes we refocus, stuff happens, and we need to know more about it. So a true intentional collaboration is powerful. And I think that Financial Power Partners chapter is a great example of it. So let's talk about some of our traditional power partners. Terry Lee, we have a visual here that shows some of our, kind of, we get it kind of understanding of power partners. You want to review a few of those?
Sure. So we've talked a lot about the real estate, but this is another example in the lower right-hand side of just some of the other people we haven't mentioned. So the PNC insurance, the escrow, the home inspector, the property manager, the title. You see how they might need a contractor along the way in a real estate transaction. You see how that all comes together. But there's times that if you go into the upper left, that not times, but all the time, that the people in the home specialty, that they obviously cross over into real estate and vice versa, right? And so take a look at the business services. So anybody who's serving businesses in such ways as everything from marketing to, you see, the business coach, the bookkeeper, your equipment, your business machines. How about who fixes your computers, the payroll? I've never seen, maybe you have, hey Kelly, have you ever seen anyone unlike a payroll person that's willing to go out and hit the pavement and make cold calls to grow their business? Have you seen anyone?
They're amazing. Yeah, they are amazing. There's no two ways about it. They hit that pavement. They love it. They embrace it, and they bring their partners along when you build that right relationship.
They do. And so if you meet payroll people out networking, totally, if you're in business services, reach out to them and see what you can do to build your power partner relationship. And how, if obviously you want to, the idea is how can we help each other, but having an amazing payroll person is key.
It is, definitely. And I need to speed us up because I want to be mindful of our time. Let's just talk briefly about some unconventional out-of-the-box power partners, because there's a lot of benefits to the out-of-the-box. And one of the primary benefits is not every other person in your business is looking for this type of relationship when you go out of the box. It definitely applies to every industry, and we'll connect some of the dots here very quickly before we wrap things up here, being, again, mindful of the time. We've got 2 minutes left. Unlikely matchups: mortuary and financial advisor, payroll and printer, skin caring, luxury car sales, hairstylist, realtor, an MFT, and a realtor. Terry Lee, you just want to hit on a couple of those being a little more unusual and how that looks?
Sure. Think about the marriage and family therapist and the realtor. Who knows whose families are breaking up and they might need to sell a house, right?
It's almost a BOGO, right? Because they got to sell a house and then they're going to have to buy 2 houses potentially.
Yes, and who as a realtor might know that there's issues in the family and might need to refer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, so think of the mortuary and the financial advisor. So I know that might sound a little strange, but anyone who pre-needs something is going to probably look at pre-needing something else. And so if the financial advisor if they're planning their finances, if they're planning their life insurance, and likewise there's mortuary pre-needs, it's again that mindset of the people that take care of their business. They're able to refer back and forth.
Yeah, I think these are great. And so I'm going to encourage you, go in the box for those traditional relationships that are around you, out in your networking activities, in your networking group, in your other networks. If you're involved in the PTA, your kids are in sports, look to your local chambers, fantastic source. Your in the box relationships are there waiting for introductions and the opportunity to connect, build relationships, and refer each other business. And then in turn, think about your unlikely out of the box potential power partners as well, because they can be a great source of referrals as well. It is now 12:15. Again, being mindful of your time, I want to thank you, Terry Lee. What a great time having you here. Thank you for getting up in the middle of the night to join us on the Power Partner and Endless Source of Referrals Brown Bag Lunch and Learn webinar today. Any final thoughts that you want to share?
just want to encourage people, go out and meet these people, be intentional, set your intention and go take action and make it happen. You'll be glad you did.
And 10 seconds on our newest collaborative book, Elevate, coming out soon.
Oh, Team has our first collaborative book. It's all about how to business people in different categories and professions have helped other people elevate their life and business. Look for it coming soon. We're excited to bring that to our business owner friends.
Great. I can't wait too. And we have just found out that Frank Shankwitz, from the founder of the Make-A-Wish Foundation, is writing the foreword of our book. That is so awesome. Also, if you want to know more about Team Referral Network, as always, you can go to TEAMReferralNetwork.com. This webinar is a wrap. Thank you, everybody, for being on with us today.